Welcome to LiCAS.news. I'm Shirley Benedictos, and these are headlines this week. Catholic priests and nuns join street protests in Myanmar to prevent bloodshed. Pandemic and lack of space force Indian Catholics to reconsider cremation. A court in Malaysia rules Christians can use Allah to refer to God. Philippine authorities order Dutch missionary to leave in 60 days. Catholics in Sri Lanka mark Black Sunday for victims of Easter blast. Tens of thousands of Hindu devotees take holy plunge in Ganges. And now to our stories. Catholic priests and nuns are joining street marches in Myanmar following the shooting of protesters by the police and military outside a Catholic church on March 8. A statement issued by a group of nuns in Myitkyina, the capital city of Myanmar's northern Kachin state, said the religious leaders' presence may help the military stop the attacks. Cardinal Charles Bo of Yangon called on Myanmar's military this week to lay down their weapons and stop attacking the people. The Cardinal made the call in a speech on the occasion of the Global Day of Prayer for Myanmar on March 11. The Cardinal described the situation in Myanmar as entering a dark time. In his video message, Cardinal Bo expressed his thanks to the international community for their prayers and support for the people of Myanmar. He further said that the military coup brought Myanmar back to the nightmare of military oppression, cruelty, violence, and dictatorship. The Cardinal said that the people's demands are very clear, and he hopes that the military will enter into a dialogue and grant the people their demand for freedom and peace. In a break from tradition, a Catholic archdiocese under the Eastern Syro-Malabar Rite is building a crematorium in India's southern state of Kerala. The pandemic and shrinking urban space led to the decision to establish the first ever crematorium for Catholics in India. It is set to start operations at Mulayam in Thrissur district by June, after the foundation stone for the Damien Archdiocesan Cremation Center was laid last month by Archbishop Andrews Tazat of Thrissur. A diocesan spokesman said the pandemic and the protocols associated with interring the dead forced people to cremate those who succumbed to COVID-19. Malaysia's High Court ruled this week that Christians can now use the word Allah in reference to God. The court granted Jill Ireland Lawrence Bill, a Christian from Sarawak, to use the word Allah in her religious practice. In 2008, Bill filed a legal challenge before the court after the Malaysian government confiscated her educational compact discs containing the word Allah. The CDs were only returned to Bill in 2015, 7 years after the legal challenge, when a Malaysian court ruled that the seizure of Bill's personal belongings was unlawful. The decision, however, on the constitutional points raised by Bill, including her right to use the word Allah for religious practices, was decided only on March 10. Bill's lawyers said the court decision entrenches the fundamental freedom of religious rights for non-Muslims in Malaysia's constitution. The Philippines Bureau of Immigration has denied the appeal of a Dutch Catholic missionary and has ordered him to leave the country in 60 days. The Bureau said there is substantial evidence to support its previous decision to cancel the permanent resident visa of Catholic lay missionary Otto Rudolf de Vries. De Vries, a 62-year-old church worker from the Netherlands, has been ordered out of the country for reportedly joining anti-government demonstrations. The Immigration Bureau presented at least 4 photographs showing De Vries illegally engaged and interfered in political activities. Authorities said the missionary has been providing support or assistance for front organizations of communist terrorist groups in the country. De Vries received the letter denying his motion for reconsideration on March 6. The Immigration Bureau's orders stemmed from a letter dated December 10, 2019, from the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency, which reported De Vries' alleged illegal activities. Catholics in Sri Lanka marked what they described as Black Sunday to dramatize their call for justice for victims of the 2019 Easter terror bombings that killed at least 260 people. The faithful attended Mass dressed in black on March 7, while church bells tolled and prayers were said at 8:45 a.m., the time when the bombs exploded on April 21, 2019. At least 171 Catholics died when explosions occurred in 2 Catholic churches. Bombs were also set off in a Protestant church and at 3 top hotels, targeting locals and foreigners. The bomb explosions were blamed on 2 local Islamic extremist groups that had pledged allegiance to the so-called Islamic State. Tens of thousands of Hindu devotees plunged into India's Ganges River on Thursday as the country kicked off one of the world's largest religious festivals, even as officials reported the biggest spike in coronavirus cases for 3 months. Hindu ascetics known as Naga sadhus, many naked apart from a coating of ash and carrying swords of tridents, led the bathers at Kumbh, or Pitcher Festival, in the northern town of Haridwar. All participants at this year's event, that runs until the end of April, are required to present a negative coronavirus test result before being allowed into the festival grounds, authorities said. But there was little evidence of social distancing in place on Thursday as bathers jostled at the riverbank. Devout Hindus believe bathing in the waters of the Ganges absolves people of sins, and during the Kumbh brings salvation from the cycle of life and death. And that's all for this week. I'm Shirley Benedictos for LiCAS.news, your independent Catholic news source in Asia. For more stories, visit our website and subscribe to our YouTube channel.